Hey guys, the Super Review Show for another episode of Why You Should Listen To. This is the show where I break down Spotify streaming numbers and I basically tell you that despite having lower numbers than you might think, these artists are just that good and you should definitely check them out on Spotify or however you stream your music regardless. So this is the show, based on the title of this video, Why You Should Listen to Billy Joel. Now, for those of you who are me and say, oh, I know Billy Joel, Piano Man, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, You May Be Right, Only the Good Die Young, Uptown Girl, We Didn't Start the Fire. Yeah. I'm going to get to all that, don't worry. So basically, Billy Joel, one of my favorite artists of all time. Like, I love this guy to death. His music, I wanted to play the piano because, it's off camera, but like, I wanted to play the piano because his music just said, hey, why not try it? And his music to me is a lot of people bash on him. Like critics over the years have bashed on him for whatever reason, stupid reasons, my opinion. His music is timeless. His music is important. It's a lot of underlying stuff in a lot of songs, like on certain albums. Like I give you an example, like Stiletto. It wasn't a big hit, but the song Stiletto is about how basically women treat men horribly. Sometimes, not all the time, women. I'm rooting for you, don't worry. But like he's been beat up a lot, and he wrote songs to show the world that hey, this is how it is in my eyes. And a lot of people agree with his song viewpoints on certain things. I personally do on some things, like whether it be something like off the top of my head, like if I were to go to 52nd Street, which I'll show in a second. He has a song on there called Honesty, which is a song about being honest with people. But some people read into if you write really well, some people will really dig into it. It's like, oh my God, this actually happened to you, whatever. But like Stiletto is a big testament to that. An Innocent Man is a big testament to that. Like, hey, I'm here. That's it. A Room of Our Own about getting divorced. His music to me is fantastic. I love it. Love it. I've eaten up his stuff. He was one of the first artists I have ever listened to. Like I some of my earliest memories on earth are listening to Billy Joel songs. That may sound pathetic to some people, but it's just the truth. So, and also this year, 2021, is the 50th anniversary of his career. Now, I know he has nothing to do with that. Columbia Records is just saying, hey, here's a box set of Billy Joel music from the first 5 or 6 albums of his career. Here, come buy this new collector set. Basically, Billy Joel stopped writing songs in 1993, and I'm okay with that. Let me start by saying that. I'm okay with him, the fact that he hasn't written a new song, like an actual song, since 1993. 1993, literally since grunge was huge. Long time. He could care less. And I've heard interviews about so many other people like, oh, well, why doesn't he write new songs? Somebody like, well, why doesn't he do that? Like, he just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to write new songs. You don't go to see, and this is a side note, you don't go to see a classic rock, arena rock artist and hear new material. You just don't. I mean, they have new material. So Bruce Springsteen puts out material. Sting puts out material. Don Henley puts out new material. John Mellencamp. Billy has not put out a single new album since 1993, except for his classical album, which is really good. I don't have it on vinyl, but it's really good. Of classical music that he composed. He didn't play it, but someone else wrote it for him in 2001. That's it. He has not put out any new music at all, and his record company has tried to keep the momentum of his fantastic, illustrious career alive since 1993, because his last album, The River Dreams, it's a great album, I gotta admit. Start to finish, fantastic. I'll get to that in a second. But he wrote a lot of the songs. I'm sorry. That album charted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 in 1993, and the River Dreams hit single will reach number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 for like 5 weeks. So you have a hit in your album's charting, and then he just stopped. I mean, you can go online, you can read articles about why he stopped, whatever. He did it for himself, as far as I know. He just said, you know what, I'm done. Because the Stormfront album in 1989 had like 4 major hits on it, and this one only had 1, and he put a lot of work into it, so he felt bad. And he just said, I don't want to do it anymore. Screw you, music business, Columbia Records, whatever. He's done. And I could not be any happier for him. I know some people are like, well, why hasn't he put... You don't go to see a classic artist and hear new material. That's just the truth. I love Springsteen. You've seen my videos on him. But at the same time, I'm not counting down the minutes until I love his new stuff. Don't get me wrong. I like it a lot. But I'm not waiting to hear a brand new Bruce Springsteen song like, live. I mean, in some cases, yes, some cases, no. But, like, it just depends on what it is. With him, he has been playing the same songs and having more success with it than he would if he were to put out a new album. Queen's doing the same thing without Freddie Mercury, too. So, it works like that. So, it's a very interesting scenario where he just tours and tours and tours. He plays the same material. He said himself, like, we're gonna play the same old shit. Yeah! Crowd goes nuts. It's just the truth. So, anyways, a little bit of backstory on Billy Joel. Fantastic guy. Long Islander, New York native, New York state of mind, all that crap. Fantastic guy. So he is, and one more thing before I get to his albums. He wrote songs for himself and people related to him. That's the brilliance of his songs. All of them. Is that he wrote, my first album I'm going to mention in a second. He wrote songs about, a song on his first album, Tomorrow Is Today, is about him drinking furniture polish to kill himself. It's public knowledge. Not many people know about that, but he tried to kill himself by drinking furniture polish. So he's got a lot of real life songs that have a lot of different sounds and meanings over the course of his career, and it's fantastic. All of it's great. So let's get to it. His first album in 1971, like it's literally November, I think 4th it came out. So happy 50th to Cold Spring Harbor. This album is Billy. He's 21 in this photo. I'm 23. So do I resemble Billy Joel? He is a this album is great. Despite it being his first album, the story goes that the music got the songs got sped up at Columbia Records, the mixing process, and then they put that out. This, I believe, is not an original pressing of the Cold Spring Harbor album from the 71. This is a remastering. They fixed the problem in like 1975 or whatever. This is not the 1983. So 1983 remastering of this album. This album is great. She's Got Away. Everybody Loves You Now. He said this is a stupid song. Kind of is. Falling of the Rain. But Tomorrow Is Today. He tried killing himself. Honestly, and that speaks to so many people who are in mental crises. This guy who has a lot of success, his first album, he wrote a song about trying to kill himself. And he succeeded and he overcame all of it. He had numerous wives, different kids. He's lived a very good life. So, Tomorrow's Today has a lot of deep meaning in there. If you haven't heard it, check it out. The next one I have for you is actually, that was 1971. My dad was just born in 1971. So that's how old his career is. Piano Man. With the infamous title track, Piano. This cover is freaky as hell, I gotta tell you. That's him on the cover. Billy Joel Piano. This is a crazy cover. The song, there's 3 really, really, obviously, Piano Mans like on the album. But one of the songs on this album is called The Ballad of Billy the Kid. The Ballad of Billy the Kid is like his Western soundtrack type of it. It's like a country influenced song. Also, Stop in Nevada. Ain't No Crime. He had a fight with his wife, and he wrote a song. Captain Jack. A song about that I love. It's in my top 5 Billy Joel songs. It's number 5. Captain Jack, to me, is a great song. It's 7 minutes long, and it's about heroin. What else is new, everyone? It's a great song, though. Oh, my God. It's like when you hear those songs in the attic version, it makes you want to get, like, high and feel good about life. Hopefully not for you. I don't promote drugs here. Then it was so he had somewhat success with Piano Man. Then he goes to, I'm lucky I have this album too. Street Life Serenade only has really one hit on it called The Entertainer. That's on side B. He said himself this album was half baked, which means there's not a lot of good in his mind. Not a lot of good material on it. Like Street Life Serenade is good. Los Angeles, The Great Suburban Showdown. Root Beer Rag. It's a fun instrumental. Roberta. He was in love with a prostitute. The Entertainer. Great song. Aside from being a hit. Last of the big time spenders. It's 5 minutes long, and I kind of wanted to hit him. I was like, this is really boring. He's not very proud of this album. He's not other than The Entertainer and Souvenir and Root Beer Rag. That's really it off the sound for him. Souvenir, a great New Year's Eve song. I like it a lot, actually. The Mexican Connection is just an instrumental. So, Street Life Serenade, everyone. A lot of success. Woo! 1975. Holy crap. Anyways, now we get into one of my personal favorite albums of his in general. Turnstiles in 1976. This is a New York-centric album. For those of you who go New York, great state. Say Goodbye to Hollywood. Great song. Summer Highland Falls. I'm going to get to this in a second. All You Want to Do Is Dance. It's all about disco. Just saying. James, which is actually about doing. Some people I'm not sure if I want to go to college. Listen to James. Do what's good for you. Prelude and the Angry Young Man. One of the fastest piano songs you're ever going to hear. Trust me, it's a brilliant song. I've loved these days. In Miami 2017, I've seen the lights go out on Broadway. COVID, anyone? This album is a New York-centric album. Each song represents different parts of this. I think this is James. This is the Miami telling the grandmother telling the child about what happened to him in New York. I think that's I've loved these days. I don't know. Summer Highland Falls and New York State of Mind. I'm a big fan of Billy Joel. Okay, big. So much so that I went. I'm not going to tell you where I live, but I'm going to tell you he wrote New York State of Mind, one of the most famous songs about New York State and New York City and whatnot. And he wrote Summer Highland Falls. Both songs were written in a house in Highland Falls, New York. I've been to that house. It's currently a bed and breakfast, and you can check it out there. It's a bed and breakfast. It's world-renowned. People from Hawaii. I visited it one day, and I said, hey, just out of curiosity, can I come visit? And they said, sure, why not? He has been there, and the house that he wrote New York State of Mind in, I stood in the room where he wrote it. I stood in the room where he wrote Summer Highland Falls, and it was like stepping back in time. I mean, I'm not making this up. You can go online, research, Billy Joel, Highland Falls, New York, whatever. I recommend it. It's a very interesting read, and it's a fantastic song. Very underappreciated, Summer Highland Falls. New York State of Mind, a fantastic, timeless song. Not just about New York City, but about New York, this New York area, like Long Island, upstate, north of New York City, west of New York City. It's a New York song. It's kind of an anthem for New York and stuff. And the piano, he wrote the song in 20 minutes. 20 minutes. The guy wrote a song in 20 minutes. Fantastic song. That was the setup album for The Stranger. This album, The Stranger, is a start to finish ranked by Rolling Stone magazine as the 70th greatest album of all time out of 500. With such incredible songs such as Moving Out, The Stranger, Just the Way You Are, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, one of my favorite songs in my top 10 of all time. Vienna, Only the Good Die Young, She's Always a Woman, Get It Right the First Time, and Everybody Has a Dream. Look at the back photo here. There's Billy Joel, there's Richie Cannata, there's Liberty DeVita, there's Russell Javers, and I forget Doug Stegmeyer on bass, Russell Javers. That's the classic Billy Joel band right there. Great. Look at that cover, guys. Come on. Fantastic album. It's definitely one of his best. I mean, I have my own personal preferences. It's not I love it, but it's not it's kind of overplayed because it's Only the Good Young gets overplayed. She's Always a Woman, Just the Way You Are, songs like that get played. But I think one of his best. Timeless album, fantastic record. 1978, 52nd Street. Now, you might be wondering, why is this on here? This was not, I've never played this, ever. Because it belonged to Columbia Records, and it says, do not play, somewhere on the back. It says, don't play, and for promotional use only. I've taken it out, and I've looked at it. I've never played this, so it's worth a lot of money. If you guys can see that, it's kind of like, just it's a very, it's one of these albums like you look at it and you're like, oh my god, like Big Shot is about like, you have to be a big shot, you have to open up your mouth, hey, come on. Honesty, great song. My Life, true story. I got a call from an old friend we used to be real close. That's a great song. Zanzibar, overrated. Not a Zanzibar fan. There's the name Zanzibar. Ugh. Love it though. It's okay. Stiletto. She cuts you once, she cuts you twice, but still you believe. Your wound is so fresh that she can taste the blood, but you don't have the strength to leave. It's about women treating men like shit. Relatable, anyone? Stiletto, great song. I love it. She's so good with her stiletto, but you don't even see the blade. Fantastically writing. One of my favorite deep cuts of his ever. Rosalinda's Eyes, about his mother. Half a Mile Away, Until the Night is a great, look, it's one of those love songs, like it's about a guy coming home to his wife after they've been married for 30 years, and he's still madly in love with her. It's a fantastic song, Until the Night. What a great song. And the 52nd Street kind of closes out the album. It's like a 2-minute song. And this is a great record. Honestly, it's widely regarded as one of his best works. And then 1980 rolls around, and he writes Glass Houses, anyone. Glass Houses in 1980 with such songs as You May Be Right, I May Be Crazy, but it just may be you lunatic you're looking for. Sometimes a Fantasy. Don't ask me why, it's still rock and roll to me. All for Lena, I don't want to be alone. I'm sleeping with the television on. C'est à toi, you were the one. He has never played that song and he never will. Close to the Borderline. Why have you not played that, Billy Joel? It's a great song. Through the Long Night. All songs by Billy Joel. So the great thing about this album is that it starts off like you hear a glass shatter because he's got the rock in his hand, and then he breaks the glass. That's the whole album. It's fantastic. I love that record. You want a hard-hitting piano player record? Glass Houses. Highly recommend it. With You May Be Right, It's Still Rock and Roll to Me, Sleeping with the Television On, Close to the Borderline. These are great rockin' songs. 1982 comes around and he has a motorcycle accident, but lucky he still puts out an album called, widely regarded as one of his best works. Personally, I like it. It's not really one of my favorite albums of his, to be honest with you, but it's called The Nylon Curtain. The Nylon Curtain, it's meant to look like it's a little weightier stuff. Like he wrote like such songs as Allentown. You know, it's about like the steelworkers going on strike or whatever. Laura, an annoying song about an annoying person. But it's not about Laura, anyone named Laura. Pressure, great track. Great track. Good Night Saigon, about the Vietnam veterans who never really got welcomed back to America. Fantastic writing. She's Right on Time. It's kind of his attempt to write about a Christmas song. So it's a great track. A Room of Our Own, Getting Divorced. Just saying. Surprises. He wrote about his motorcycle accident. Scandinavian Skies. It's about his first time having heroin and his first and last time having heroin. Where's the Orchestra is a great song too. I like it. It's not one of my favorites, but I like it. Then literally a year later, he wrote the material on this next album so freaking fast. I can't believe he even wrote it this fast. And I've wanted to go to these steps. An Innocent Man. An Innocent Man was an album that came out in 1983 with his second number one hit single, Tell Her About It. But with such songs, and they sound like Motown, they sound like Four Seasons stuff, and it's totally worked in the 80s. Who would have thought like a doo-wop song like The Longest Time would be a hit? It was a hit. Easy Money, An Innocent Man, great song. Longest Time, Bill, anyone? This Night, a beautiful love song, kind of done in the way of Little Anthony and the Imperials. Tell Her About It, great song. And yet it's overplayed. It's the number one hit. Side 2, Uptown Girl. Uptown Girl, you know. Careless Talk, Christy Lee. Anyone, his wife? Leave a Tender Moment Alone and Keeping the Faith. And this album was kind of like his stab at being like a classic like oldies artist. Like, let me sing like Frankie Valli, Uptown Girl. Let me sing like Little Richard, Christy Lee. You know, he did a lot of stuff over the course of his career And he basically, like, I got to tell you the truth. This guy, that album is a lot of fun. It's a fun record to be a part of and all this stuff. And then my personal favorite Billy Joel song is on this album, The Bridge. You're probably saying to yourself, well, why is it called The Bridge? Well, it bridged the gap. I don't have his last two albums, which is disappointing. And Stormfront and An Innocent Man, I don't have Stormfront and River Dreams I don't have on vinyl yet. I'm working it. That'll have his entire catalog. But The Bridge is great. Running on Ice, his attempt to sound like The Police. This is the time. A really nice song about like being on the beach in the wintertime and whatnot. A Matter of Trust is my favorite Billy Joel song. Come at me, world. Come at me. That's his best song. It's fantastic. Modern Woman. Try to imagine like a woman working out. That's what it sounds like. It's like a workout song. It's pretty good. Baby Grant, a duet with Ray Charles. I thought it was great. Side 2, Big Man on Mulberry Street. It's one of those like Italian like songs, like, hey, the big man on Mulberry Street kind of thing. But it sounds like Frank Sinatra. It's really cool. Temptation, which is about him not leaving his daughter, who was born earlier this year, 85, 86. Code of Silence was with Cyndi Lauper. He's never played it live. So Billy Joel, if you're listening to me, which you might be, who knows, play Code of Silence with Cyndi Lauper at the Garden. Hey, why not? Getting Closer, a terrible song. Oh, I can't stand that one. It's just like, I'm getting closer. Horrible track. Anyways, but that's all the Billy Joel vinyl I have. That just shows you how much of a freak of nature I am with him. I love this guy. So why should you listen to Billy Joel? Why should you listen to Billy Joel? Well, to be honest, his Spotify streaming numbers are a lot higher than I thought. I was thinking like, oh, they'd be like at least like maybe like 10 million listeners monthly or whatever, or 20 million monthers. The guy's got a lot more popularity now than I thought he would. And like Piano Man has like almost 500 million streams. Almost, I think it's at 500 million streams or something like that. That's insane. So why should you listen to Billy Joel? Why? Well, because, again, it goes back to what I've talked about on my other video with Elton John. He's timeless. He writes songs that are timeless, and they have so much meaning to so many people. And there's so much depth. There's so much amazing music in there. I didn't even get to Stormfront. Stormfront had We Didn't Start the Fire, I Go to Extremes, Leningrad about his time in Russia. He was the first rock and roll artist to be in Russia. Ever. So yeah, like what? You should listen to Billy Joel because he's just a timeless, true artist who spoke from the heart, and he did a fantastic job writing and composing all these songs. He wrote all the lyrics, all the songs, he wrote all the words, all the music. He did everything. He busted his butt to do all this crap back in the day. Now he doesn't have to do anything because he's sitting on a lot of money. Truthfully. I've seen him 3 times in Madison Square Garden. Each time goes better and better. The third time was his 100th Madison Square Garden show, actually. I got to see him there with Bruce Springsteen came out, and you know me, I lost my freaking mind. Seeing both those artists on the same stage was mind-bogglingly amazing to me. But yeah, just listen to Billy Joel. He's a timeless guy. He's fantastic. If you haven't heard of any of his songs, get on it. We didn't start the fire, anyone. Come on, let's go. So, anyways, I digress. What do you guys think? Are you a Billy Joel fan? I know. Thank you for sticking around for a long video. This is a long one today because I love him so much. He's a fantastic artist. What do you guys have to say about this? Jump down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Are you a Billy Joel fan? Are you in a New York state of mind like I am? Jump down. Love to hear your thoughts. But for all of your why you should listen to videos, keep it locked on the Super Review Show. The J-Man is off rock, and I'm in a New York state of mind. See you later.